With AI changing our world so fast, it seems like everyone is asking the same question. What's next for me? What does my future even look like? It can feel like a lot, I know. But today, we're going to dive into that question and we're going to do it together.
So let me just ask you, have you felt that little knot in your stomach lately? That quiet anxiety when you think about artificial intelligence and your work? If so, I just want you to know you are so not alone. That's a feeling that's touching almost everyone right now.
And that feeling, it's completely valid. It makes sense, right? We're in the middle of this huge technological shift. So today, we're not just going to sit with that anxiety. We're going to look it right in the eye, we're going to try to understand it, and hopefully find something way more stable to build our future on.
All right, so let's dig into this a little bit. This AI anxiety isn't just some vague worry floating around. No, it's coming from some really specific, really real fears about what AI can do now in fields we used to think were, well, just for humans.
I mean, do any of these sound familiar? Is my job about to be replaced? Or is the degree I worked so hard for, is it worthless now? Are the skills I've built up over years suddenly becoming obsolete? And maybe the biggest one of all, how in the world am I supposed to compete with a system that never sleeps, never takes a break, and just keeps learning faster and faster? These aren't just bad dreams. They're very real concerns for so many of us.
You see, all of these worries, they're really pointing to something way deeper. When the ground underneath our feet starts to feel shaky, we've got to ask ourselves, what am I anchored to? What am I really holding on to for my security and my sense of who I am?
And honestly, a lot of us do this without even thinking about it. We tie our whole identity to things that can change in a heartbeat. Our job title, the company on our business card, the number on our paycheck. And when those things are threatened, well, it can feel like our whole sense of self is about to crumble.
So I want to ask you something. It's a tough question, I know, but it's so important. If your job, as you know it right now, was gone tomorrow, who would you be? What's left when that title is stripped away? Thinking about this is the first step to finding a foundation that AI can never, ever shake.
Okay, so to help us build that solid foundation, there's this really powerful way to think about our work. It breaks it down into 3 different levels: job, career, and calling. And getting this perspective can change everything. So first up, we have the job. This is the level we're all familiar with. It's how you pay the bills, right? It's a means to an end. It's pretty transactional. You give your time and your skills and you get a paycheck. And because of that, a job is, by its very nature, temporary. It can be replaced.
Then you've got the next level up, which is your career. This feels a bit more personal. It's your long-term path, your journey of growing and advancing in a certain field. Now, this feels more solid than just a job, for sure, but it's still subject to change. Entire industries can shift or even disappear.
And that brings us to the deepest level, the one that's at the very core of who we are, our calling. See, a calling isn't about what you do for a living. It's about why you live and who you live for. It's your life's mission. And that purpose, it's unchanging.
For me, this idea of a calling is just so beautifully explained in the Bible. There's this incredible verse in Ephesians that says we are God's workmanship, His masterpiece, created for good works that He prepared for us long before we were even born. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. Your purpose isn't something you have to scramble to find. It was designed into you from the very beginning.
So this chart really puts it all into perspective, doesn't it? A job is focused on income and it's temporary. A career is focused on advancement and it's long-term. But a calling, its focus is purpose and love. And its durability, it's eternal. This right here, this is the part of our work that AI can never, ever touch.
Okay, so now that we have this framework, let's circle back to AI. When we understand our calling, we can see with total clarity what AI is missing. And that helps us see what makes us, well, us. What makes us uniquely and wonderfully human.
I mean, really think about it. An AI can process information in a nanosecond, but can it offer deep, empathetic listening to a friend who is hurting? It can generate a comforting phrase, but can it provide genuine warm comfort? Can an algorithm guide a soul that's searching for meaning? Can it build a relationship based on trust and sacrifice, or make a judgment that requires mercy and moral weight? No. And most of all, it can't live out self-sacrificial love. That is our work.
So here's the bottom line. AI is an amazing tool, no doubt about it. It can optimize tasks and make us super efficient. But it's just a tool. It cannot fulfill a mission. Why? Because it doesn't have a soul. It has no conscience. It has no capacity to love. That is our domain.
So if we start to see our lives through this lens of mission, how does it actually change things? How does it reframe our daily lives and our sense of value? Well, I think you'll see it changes pretty much everything.
There's this amazing thought from Martin Luther that just hits this nail on the head. He basically said that a mother doing laundry is serving God just as faithfully as a nun who is praying. The point isn't how glamorous the task is. The value is in the love and the purpose we bring to it.
And this brings us to a really big idea. Maybe the true crisis we're facing in this age of AI isn't really unemployment. Maybe the true crisis is a loss of mission. If we anchor our worth in our performance, we will always feel anxious because there's no way we can outperform the machines.
But the second you put on those calling glasses, your whole perspective shifts. Your office, your school, your home, your neighborhood, they aren't just places you go to every day. They become your mission field, the specific place where you've been planted right here and now to live out your unique, irreplaceable purpose.
So please, I really want you to hear this. Let this sink deep into your heart. Your value was never in your productivity. It was never in how efficient you are. Your value was never, ever in the algorithm. It is rooted in who you were created to be. And that is something that no technology can ever, ever take away.
So, that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. Instead of asking, what will my job be tomorrow? Maybe a better question is, how can I live my calling today? So where is your mission field? In your family, with your friends, at your desk? How can you bring a little more empathy, a little more love to that space right now? That's a question truly worth exploring. Thanks for exploring it with me today.